The path to release us from the eternal cycles of life, the tragedies of history, and the spell of fate. Once I awaken Deus as a weapon, I'll obliterate all living things. Then I'll use your awakened self and that machine to return everything to nothing. That's what I have concluded. Miang and Elhaim are not just Deus's mouthpiece. That woman is its main body. Why can't you see that?
That's not true. She gave her life for me by shielding me from harm. Her eyes...
Sorry.
Her eyes weren't Miang's. Mother came back at the last moment. Miang, Mother, even Ellie, we're all humans born on this planet. Deus doesn't matter. You'll see. I'll bring Ellie back. Father, no. Grahf, Lacan, I won't back down.
Never!
Then I have no choice.
The time has come to truly become one! And here we go with the final encounter in this area. And first of all, I'd like to introduce everybody to not only Grahf's true gear. We have actually not seen it until now. Now we have seen true Weltall and also Faye's Omni gear and pretty much the Omni of Omni gears, Xenogears.
Roll credits.
Exactly. And the cool part is he is the only one that can actually break 30,000 HP. You can no longer get frames, I believe, for Xenogears. And he has absurd defense. You remember how hard Grahf hit last time we fought him, right? Look at his numbers right now.
It's
nowhere near where they were. If he cracks 1,000, I'll be surprised. But also you might notice that with Xenogears, Faye's fighting style has kind of changed. It has become a little bit more omnipotent, as it were. Yeah. And I'll even show you guys. He doesn't necessarily punch anymore, he just bestows power. The reason being, in case people are just barely dropping in, Faye has basically become the true contact. He is united with all of his past lives. He is the contact that is most powerful. And now he has to face his previous self, Lacan. But we don't care because Kishin! Behold the power of the cosmos! Bam! And for some reason, his gear has high heels. I'm not sure why, but it does. But of course, the best part about it is I love those wings that are coming off of Xenogears. Those phased-based wings. It reminds me of only one other instance where this has happened. Okay, Ava. I just barely remembered that, because there are points when Ava Unit 1 has angel wings. Yeah. But also, the Strike Freedom. When eventually, like, he pulls out, like, he does a full power let loose, you can get that too. And Grahf's down. That did not take that much effort, did it?
No.
That's because we're wielding the power, bitches. Why don't you finish me off? If you don't get rid of me, then you cannot get what you want.
It's all right, Dad. I understand. You are not Grahf. You are my father. You and Grahf are one. Your will and purpose never change. I knew that once we fought, but let's stop now. Our objectives should be the same. It's the same as our becoming one. We don't have to fight. Ah, what? My buddy!
Zohar is after you. The last piece to combine with the Deus system. It seeks to unify with you. the first to have been divided from it.
What?
This is what Lacan wanted all along. After all, I'm an imperfect existence. It was inevitable that it would come to this, considering what had happened in the past. Lacan's imperfect secondary contact with the wave existence split his personality into two. Eventually, his body died, but the original Lacan transmigrated. Bringing the destiny of becoming a contact with him, he was reborn as your present body. The remaining persona, just his desires, lived on separately by possessing the bodies of others. That is Grahf. That is me. I may have inherited Lacan's will, but I'm not the same as the contact Lacan. It's impossible for me to make real contact. There would be no true melding and release. Even though our bodies may be different, I am still half of you. That fact remains. Although I'm imperfect, I can merge temporarily with Zohar, and thus may be able to buy you some time. This is the only way I can be one with you. This is all I can do. Deus' system will start to look for you again. Before then, you have to destroy the newly perfected Deus and this Zohar modifier. You're the only one that can destroy the physical barrier that encases God's body.
Dad!
As you said, that was Karen. Through many generations, Miang is beginning to break free from her bounds. Now that Elheim has merged with Deus, she has all of her memories back. All the memories from her original birth as the contact's complement up to her current transmigration. That includes all of the lives she has lived as Miang and her substitutes over the centuries. And of course, that includes your mother's memories too.
Mother's memories?
Faye, cut away all the binds on mankind. You should be able to do that now. Save her and all the other women bound with her. I'm begging you, Faye! No! No more Zohar.
What's this? This pendant. Is this Sophia's or my mother's? It's nothing. I'm just talking to myself.
You have to stop doing that, Faye.
I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused everyone. Thank you all so much. Anyway, let's get going. There's little time left now for me and for our planet.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and warn you in advance. Faye's character changes a little bit. He becomes kind of omnipotent, so just keep that in mind when you read stuff. I have a feeling like you're going to look at me and go, the fuck?
Right.
Because he gets a little omnipotent because of all of his past memories. But before then, we all get a little treat. What is this place?
This is where it all started. This is our genesis.
Not the Sega one.
We, no, humans were born here. Long ago, Deus crash landed on this planet in an interplanetary colony ship. In order to revive itself someday, Deus detached the Zohar modifier's core. After this core unit came down here, a single woman awoke and arose from out of it.
Which we saw.
She's the mother of all humanity. After she awoke, she used all her power to bear several beings. These would become the ancestors of the whole of humanity. These were the Emperor, the Gazel Ministry. Finally, she gave birth to replicas of herself to be humanity's caretakers. Two selves, the human mother and the weapon, the subject and the complement. That is Ellie and Miane. I, the sole survivor from the colony ship, met Ellie, and everything started there. The land of Genesis. Kadomani?
Yeah.
This is that place. Yeah, but even with your shared fate with Deus, why do you have such ancient memories? Usually human memories cannot be passed down through the generations.
Oh my gosh, he's smarter than me.
Humans do not normally have the ability to compress and store memories in their introns. But Ellie and I and Miane are different. Due to our connection with the wave existence, that is due to Zohar's ability to change possible phenomena, we can clearly store data in our introns. In other words, we live behind memories to be inherited by our descendants. Just as the wave existed is bound inside of Zohar. The information is affixed to me, so to speak, by some of the power of the wave existence.
If this is getting complicated, I'll fill you guys in a minute.
And this is...
Sorry,
it's you.
Yep, that is.
This is the form from when Ellie and Miane were still one being. This is the first woman of our world.
So it's kind of a haunting memorial.
Our mothers.
No, our mother.
Our mother.
They are one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile...
So, if we destroy that Zoha thing, everything will be over, right?
Yes. The source of our ether powers and the source of power for the generators that make our gears work, it all comes from the Zohar modifier engine, which can control any potential phenomena. If we destroy it, Deus and the Seraph Angels will all be deactivated. And then we should also be able to free Ellie, who has become bound to the Deus weapon system as Miane. Right, Faye? I mean, I have to check my math with you now.
Yeah, that's what the wave existence said.
But then there is the downside. It will also mean that we will no longer be able to use our gears or our ether powers anymore.
What are those Seraph Angels all about anyway, brother? That odd appearance as if they lacked something, as if they were neither living beings nor mere weapons, brother.
So
Zohar senses the human consciousness and incarnates the Seraphs.
Human consciousness?
Zohar itself involves the principle of uncertainty. The observer's perception of Zohar determines the entity it actually becomes. In other words, I believe that those angels are incarnations of the spirits of people. The people who have been absorbed by Deus to become parts of it. In other words, all of the Reaper's wells that have happened all over Disc 2, they are now basically the army that protects Deus.
You see. So what merit is there for them to gain in eliminating all of civilization? It's some kind of hatred for those humans who've survived. Arsha's a question.
Of course not. Those people who were created and assimilated as parts for Deus would not have such intentions. Try to remember that Ellie, when she became Miane, said,
"The creation of God will someday be a hindrance. That is why they must be eliminated."
Yes, that is why Merkava is being used to begin the destruction. But Deus is not following its programming of exterminating all of civilization. The Seraphs, which are terminal interface weapons of Deus, are using their bodies composed of nanomachines to absorb massive numbers of people regardless of whether they are dead or alive. It is not discriminating between the mutant and non-mutant people. This is highly peculiar. The fact that the people who are meant to be destroyed are being taken in as well, that is the absolute opposite of what it is supposed to be doing.
Maybe there aren't enough parts?
Well, Deus is a big mother effer, we already know that. That is unlikely. Aside from those bodies that were destined to be parts for it, Deus, who has already acquired the abilities of the nanomachines, can just about use any material. To To construct its body, it is obvious it has no other intentions in mind. Those intentions, Trellian has called Deus the Mother. If God is the Mother, then those motives are coming from the Great Mother, impending the growth of its child, enveloping it, to bring the child back to the womb to become one with it. That is its motive. Such a program does not exist within its design, though. It was probably given this unique will by someone, either from Ellie, who has merged with the Deus, or...
Either way, it doesn't change the fact that we have to fight. Regardless of what their intentions are, the problem is how we're supposed to deal with them. You think we can do it in our current state?
This secret battleship, Excalibur, will also take part in the final battle. Additionally, the military potential of all the surface forces will assemble here.
Even if we can put together a massive force, we still have the problem with the main armament of the Merkava. We need to know how to take that out. As long as we don't do that.
Merkava's ultra-long-range cannon has the ability to vaporize any substance. On top of that, they have a barrier around their perimeter that nullifies all attacks. We've fought against the Merkava many times to try to stop its onslaught. However, we cannot even get close. Hence, we've had to withdraw every time.
Damn it! No matter how much we want to save Ellie, if we can't get inside the Merkava, it's meaningless.
To add to that, there's the problem of those Seraphs. They function as the terminal interface weapons for close defense. I can easily say that their attack power is equivalent to the Omnigear class.
They even have regenerative ability due to the nanomachines.
Don't be concerned about that, youngins. I was able to obtain some data from Xenogears. You see, Xenogears has a mutagenically evolved due to its contact with the Zohar. I know, it's weird like that. Using that data, all of your new gears ought to be completed soon. Additionally, all the other weapons and armaments are being modified to implement the disassembler device.
Disassembler device?
Why, thank you for allowing me to explain this multimodal reflection sorting. In contrast to the nanoassemblers, which create matter to repair with, the disassemblers have the ability to dismantle or destroy matter. They can even deactivate the nanomachines' restoring ability by disengaging their repair programs. This should be sufficiently effective even against the Deus' Seraphs. If you followed any of that, you've got a degree in something.
Alright, even if we can deal with the angels, just how are we gonna deal with the Merkava? We can't even get close to the thing.
There's no such thing as a perfect defense. There is a way. Look over here. Ooh, holograms. Merkava's main gun requires a 1.2 second interval to reload because of its tremendous output. Upon firing, although it is only sectional, there will be a portion of the barrier that will be opened. There is a 1.87 second delay before the barrier reforms in that area. If we can use this window of time to target and destroy that cannon, it will be possible to close in on it. If we can get close enough, we can break through with gravitational spatial correction. In other words, multimodal reflection sorting. Well, this is the rough idea. Unfortunately, we don't have such a long-range cannon that could acquire a target in such a brief time frame.
So what you're saying, we need to just shut that annoying cannon up, right? You want to go ahead on into Merkava? Now you're being reckless again. That's suicide. No, listen, we're not gonna rush in. The Yggdrasil...
Yggdrasil 4.
Yggdrasil 4, that's what I saw. I saw the Ivy Lake.
Yeah.
The Yggdrasil 4 and the Excalibur are also equipped with barriers. That's what we'll use. Although, only for a short time, we can withstand a direct hit from the Merkava's main cannon. Then we can close in and watch for that part of the barrier to go down and then destroy the cannon. How long will our barrier last? About 20 or so seconds.
Oh, only 20 or so seconds. All right. Well, this just sounds like a wonderful plan.
That's all? It wouldn't matter how fast we fly. That amount of time will be without a barrier before we can get within firing range.
About 19 other times.
And those numbers are valid only if the generator's at its full drive, right? You can only get those numbers if we sacrifice all other output and propulsion. I'm not suggesting we go in guns a-blazing, knowing we're gonna lose. We're going to be physically put a lid on it, directly. Huh? As you've said, the Yggdrasil 4, the Excalibur's barrier, can't sufficiently defend against Merkava's attack. At least with one generator, that is. Meaning we can defend against the Merkava with twice the amount of time. 40 seconds if we couple two generators together. This way we can make it into the heart of Merkava.
Then what about the propulsion?
Just hear me out.
We've been doing that this entire time. I can't follow any of you.
Then I could summon the Red Eyes Black Dragon.
Exactly.
This is what we do. First, we transform my Yggdrasil into a heavy assault mode and load it onto the Excalibur so we can couple the generators.
Okay.
By doing that, we can reduce the energy usage down to just supporting the hull of the ship and generating the barrier. This will allow most of the energy to be devoted to generating the barrier. Next, shift the barrier to full front and focus it to the single point where the main cannon will make its strike.
Okay.
Now for the movement. First off, we develop the barrier by engaging Excalibur's generator to maximum power. For propulsion, during that time, we'll install on the Yggdrasil those large solid rockets we got from the ruins of the mass driver.
Oh, good.
When the Excalibur's barrier expires, we'll use the Yggdrasil 4's generator to develop a barrier. Then we'll detach the solid rockets and shift the Excalibur into conventional flight. Using this method, we can get right in the Merkava's face. After it fires, it'll be defenseless. During this time, we'll block the muzzle of the Merkava's cannon with the Excalibur's bow ram. Upon which we should have 0.67 seconds.
Okay.
With the cannon fire on the Excalibur, we'll destroy the Yggdrasil 4's slave generator and incapacitate the Merkava along the way, and then we break through.
This is really a complicated plan.
That's what the plan's all about. The combination of the barriers, both ships, Storm and the Merkava. The time for the cannon fire of the Excalibur, these are gonna be crucial. Mess up any one of these and the consequences are gonna be severe. Hence, it'll be necessary to have both crews in sync with each other. That's why I like to play Sig in command of the Excalibur.
I have no qualms with that.
What do you think, Queen? Will you lend us your battleship?
I don't know. I'm afraid you'll sink it. Since there appears to be no other alternative, let us go with that. Please use it as you see fit. But are we not cutting it uncomfortably close? When you calculate the arrival time and the barrier generation time, you'll see what I mean. One minor mishap will put us into a situation where we could run out of barrier power before our arrival. Also, we'll be devoting both generators to keeping the barriers up. Won't that leave us without perimeter defenses? We won't stand a chance if we get engaged by the Seraph Angels on our way to Merkava.
We'll hold them off. You can count on us. You guys just concentrate on taking out that main cannon. Thanks, we're dependent on you. Already everywhere else has been taken out. This is the only place that's left. This is going to be the true final battle.